Hey guys, Dr. Morse, injury expert. So let's talk about Isiah Pacheco and his upcoming expectations from this fibula fracture injury. Now, I've been projecting him coming back around week 12, even though they've been very mum on it. We are heading into week 11, and he was just activated today for the 21-day return window, which basically means he's going to return over the next 3 weeks. Now, Kareem Hunt has done an amazing job holding down the fort, but remember, he's an aging back, and Pacheco is a stud top 5 potential back with appropriate volume with really good hands. So they're going to go from using a lot of Hunt and a little bit of Perrine and really not a whole lot of Steele to a lot of Pacheco and a little bit of Hunt. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Let's talk about realistic timeline to return and expectations when he does return. Now, I think there's a chance he could potentially play in Week 11 against the Bills. I doubt it, but I think it's technically possible. Just depends on tracking the activity this week. And realistically, he'll probably be really slow, broadly brought in if he is activated that quickly. With that being said, if it's more likely going to be week 12 or maybe even week 13, just depending on how aggressive they want to be with him and how he's looking. Let's talk about what he did in expectations, because this is going to change. Now, if we look at the lower leg here, my little buddy here, so we have the knee up here, you have the shin, and then you have the fibula on the outside attaching at the ankle down here. Now, he likely fractured it mid-body or distal. Here, avulsions are unlikely for this type of situation. Now, the more that it's fractured at the base of the ankle, the more concerning this is. This is likely what happened to Miles Sanders. If it happened up here closer to the knee, the knee's right here, then you're going to have a complex with that has nerves around it that causes issues with drop foot and stuff. Unlikely. That's called a Mason-Newman fracture. So if we're saying mid-body or distal, now we're going to talk about what ligaments are impacted, because as you see here, there's a space here, but that's not actually a space. In real life, that's where the high ankle ligaments attach. So the high ankle ligaments actually hold these two together. So if this fractures and pulls off and tears that high ankle ligament, he's going to have a lot more time to return than if he doesn't have that. He also could have some issues at the lower ankle. He could also have issues at kind of where this part of the ankle is. This is the lateral ankle, unlikely to be the medial aspect of the ankle. So why am I saying this difference? So if he doesn't have any isolated, if he has an isolated fibula fracture with no injuries to the ligament, which is a best case scenario, that's Tank Dell reportedly, and that would be pretty much full go immediately. If he has a mild issues, which is probably most likely, then realistically he's going to take a couple weeks to ramp up. If he has significant issues to the ligaments, a high ankle sprain, they also had to do a tightrope or something like that, you're looking at two different versions. You're looking at Mark Andrews from last year, and you're looking at Tony Pollard from the year before. Now, if remember, obviously running back to running back, Tony Pollard struggled last year. He did not look good at all. Maybe that was some Dallas stuff, whatever, but this year he looks way better. So he is definitely healthier from that injury. And he had a pretty significant ankle fracture and likely ligament damage from what we understand. If Pacheco suffered a similar injury to Pollard, it's probably going to be a year out from now until he really looks good again. If it's a mild injury, he might be able to come back, but he'll really look good early 2025. If he didn't have any ligament damage, he's going to be ready to rock and roll and look like he never left. That would be ideal, because now he's got fresh legs, replacing Kareem Hunt, who doesn't have fresh legs, and we'll go from there. But hopefully that was helpful. Realistic expectations within the next probably 10 to 14 days. I have him on my IR waiting. When he is activated, at the minimum, he is a flex, but he could very well be a top 5 running back rest of season if everything goes right. If your window is not closed for trading, then he might be someone you can try to go get for relatively cheap, because he has monster potential and he's healthy or healthier, fresh, as opposed to some of the guys who are all banged up right now.